Welcome to Abuja, the place that unites Nigeria.
Did you get to see the way Daily Babadu pulls this?
Don't forget to send in your messages.
There's a difference between picking, child, and issue.
That is do more with less people.
If we have a better way of addressing these issues, taking care of
Congratulations, you were able to sign Timo Werner from RB Leipzig.
So you take water before your workout.
People have used their phone, using TikTok to do it like.
Should I go for test?
A lot of people don't even have resources.
I'm Cecil, and this is the Medley Show on NTA.
Lives are in your hands while you drive. Protect yourself and others on the road.
Hello, good evening and welcome to Weekend Farm. We are live in Abuja. The outbreak of COVID-19 pandemic came with a lot of challenges. The first challenge was the ability of the entire global community to find a solution going by the experiences in China and Italy. However, the emergence of vaccine is bringing the pandemic down to minimal impact, even as various economies are picking up across the globe. But there are initial inevitable protocols which are still consistent with the fact about the pandemic. These are the issues of hand washing, maintaining safe distance, use of face mask, amongst others. Unfortunately, in Nigeria, even with the high-powered Presidential Committee on COVID-19 and now Presidential Steering Committee on COVID-19 with the sole mandate to safeguard health of the nation, with the aforementioned protocols, Nigerians still pay lip service to compliance as if they are doing it for the government rather than their own lives. You see it everywhere you go: churches, mosques, workplaces, marketplaces, and social gatherings. Even now, with ongoing vaccination as well as the protocols, enforcement is the big challenge, and there seems to be nothing going on in most states of the Federation, let alone rural communities and villages. The decisive effort needed is on enforcement and continuous public enlightenment in order to find a leeway since the new normal has come to stay. So join us tonight on the conversation on compliance with COVID-19 protocols. We have reports from across the nation, and our guest is Dr. Mukhtar Mohammed, Head National Incident Manager, Presidential Steering Committee on COVID-19. I am Kenan Ima Abodike. The news first. Let's start on security matters, as 32 more students of Bethel Baptist Secondary School, Kaduna, have regained freedom from bandit captivity. Chairman, Christian Association of Nigeria, Kaduna State, Reverend Joseph John Hayab, who confirmed the release, says the students have been reunited with their families. Haruna Mohammed reports.
For the first time, they increased the number that they are releasing by giving us 32. 32 is better than the 28, 32 is better than the 15, and even the numbers that escaped. So many parents have happily rejoined with their children. The only sad thing is that there are parents who have more than one child in the camp, and some of the children are still with the bandits.
With 2 batches earlier released, a total of 90 out of the 131 students of Bethel Baptist Secondary School kidnapped by bandits about 2 months ago have now regained freedom from captivity and reunited with their families.
Something Nigerians may not know is that this banditry had cost these children something. The fact is that the entire final set have lost a whole calendar year. They didn't write NECO, unless if NECO is going to do another special exam for us in the next 2 months. WAEC has started, and many of them are not still back because those who suppose you cannot carry 5 or 10 students to go and write WAEC while their friends and colleagues are still with the bandit. So all of them have lost.
In the meantime, efforts have been intensified to secure the release of the remaining students from their captors. In Kaduna, Haruna Mohammed, NTA News.
Governor Abdurrahman Abdurrazak has called for the upgrade of the Nigerian Army School of Education in Ilorin to a full-fledged university to attract more enrollment of civilians in the state. The governor made a request while hosting the Chief of Army Staff, Major General Farouk Yahaya, who visited him at the government house in Ilorin. Kehinde Omolosho reports.
The new Chief of Army Staff, according to Governor Abdurrahman Abdurrazak, is coming at a difficult time in the history of Nigeria, but has the required experience to surmount the security challenges facing the country. The contributions of the Nigerian Army to the internal security of the state and the nation at large, the governor says, are commendable, as he requested for more collaboration to keep the state safe and secured.
We appreciate the fact that courses are now thrown open at the college to citizens of Kwara and Nigeria in general, and we'll make sure we embrace it to push students into the school.
The Chief of Army Staff, who is on a tour of military formations across the country, informed the governor of the full return of the 22 Armored Brigade to Sobi Cantonment after 6 years of relocation to further contribute their quota to the sustenance of peace in the state.
And also appreciate all the support you have been given to the Army particularly and to all other agencies in our drive to maintain security in support of civil authority.
Just like the Chief of Army Staff, the Kwara State Commissioner of Police, in a separate visit, appreciated government support for security agencies in the state. But like Oliver Twist, he is asking for more, especially in the area of logistics. Despite the COVID-19-induced economic challenge, the governor promised to continuously do his bit to support and strengthen security architectures in the state. Kehinde Omolosho, NTA News.
The National Agricultural Land Development Authority under the presidency is set to establish integrated farm estate in Kogi State, north-central Nigeria. The initiative is expected to improve livestock breeding with a view to addressing farmers-herders clashes. Musa Baba Aliyu reports that a similar project is ongoing in Yobe State.
Under the initiative, Kogi State government is providing 700 hectares of land in Ajakuta local government area of the state. The federal government, under the National Agricultural Land Development Authority, will establish a farm that will engage 3,000 youths in farming and livestock breeding, as well as in other value chain. This will include poultry, meat processing, and pasture production.
It is called Integrated Farm Estate, where you will have both school, clinic, and then you will have crop section, you will have processing section, you will have animal husbandry sections, and then we'll have mini market for the people that will reside there.
Kogi State Governor Yahaya Bello said the initiative of the federal government will enhance agricultural activities in the state.
To support, we are not going to take it for granted. We will run with it, we'll maximize it. And we promise you that Kogi, being the safest state in the country today, will continue to lead.
The National Agricultural Land Development Authority has also kickstarted activities on the 10 hectares farm estate in Dasamu village, Jakusko local government area of Yobe State. Poultry farm has been established with 30,000 birds. Other activities such as land clearing, crop cultivation and demarcation of selected areas for goat rearing are currently ongoing at the facility. Musa Baba Aliyu, NTA News.
Nigeria's Water Resources Minister Suleiman Adamu is encouraging his counterparts on the continent to embrace and implement the newly developed African Sanitation Policy Guidelines, ASPG, to accelerate the attainment of the sanitation targets of the Sustainable Agenda. It was at the African Ministers' Council on Water AMCAO session at the just concluded Virtual World Water Week, where Suleiman Adamu was speaking as the AMCAO Vice President, West Africa. Musbah Wudan Wahab reports.
Just about when Africa was set for more progress in sanitation and hygiene, COVID-19 threw a spanner in the works, and the unfavorable statistics compounded. On the continent, only 21% have access to safely managed sanitation, while about 18% of the population still practice open defecation.
More efforts are required in sub-Saharan Africa to accelerate our progression towards our ambitions to reach these targets of sanitation for all.
Hence, the launch of the African Sanitation Policy Guidelines, ASPG, by AMCAO in June this year, consistent with the United Nations Accelerated Framework for Achieving SDGs by 2030.
The SPG, as you already know, has been developed to ensure that our sanitation and hygiene policies and strategies respond to the present and future challenges.
I understand that some countries are already using the ASPG to improve their sanitation policies, and I urge all leads in sanitation ministries to commit to using this valuable tool to improve the enabling environment for sanitation improvement and fast-track access to sanitation across the continent.
Kenya is the first country to commence implementation of the guidelines.
We embraced this process of the guidelines because we thought it was very inclusive, comprehensive.
Development partners are pledging support, but first, the ASPG is expected to be endorsed by the African heads of state at the World Water Forum, scheduled for March next year in Senegal. In Abuja, Musbal and Wahab, NTA News.
The United Arab Emirates Ambassador to Nigeria, Dr. Fahad Obaid Al-Tafak, says there is no official communication placed on the issuance of work permit for Nigerians living and working in the United Arab Emirates. Ambassador Al-Tafak said this when he received Abike Dabidi Erewa, Chairman, CEO, Nigerians in Diaspora Commission at the embassy in Abuja. Obegali Ugwoke completes the story.
The United Arab Emirates has no restrictions against any nationality, except for isolated cases of individuals whose work visas were not renewed for one reason or the other. These are the words of the United Arab Emirates Ambassador to Nigeria, Dr. Fahad Obaid Al-Tafak, as he clarifies that there is no official ban on work permits to Nigerians in the United Arab Emirates. The ambassador says only last week, UAE issued over 50 visas to Nigerians.
As an official position from the UAE is a very welcoming country. We have no discrimination against any nationality. Everyone is welcome to come.
The chairman, Nigerians in Diaspora Commission, Honorable Abike Dabiri-Erewa, says the clarification is really assuring, given a barrage of calls and inquiries by Nigerians within and outside the UAE on official stoppage of issuance of work permits to Nigerians in the United Arab Emirates. Nidcom Boss urged Nigerians in the UAE to always obey the laws of their host country.
So this not being able to get the work is actually affecting some of them. I mean, we have professionals, doctors, teachers that are not affected at all because, they're really up there. But there are some that work legally with some small firms. Now their work permit is not being issued.
The United Arab Emirates envoy said they are optimistic that Emirates Airlines would soon resume flights into Nigeria. Obiageli Ugwoke, NTA News.
Now to politics, where the 92nd National Executive Committee meeting of the People's Democratic Party has ended in Abuja, with emphasis on the need for members to remain united. Timothy Yusuf reports that NEC approved Abuja as venue of the proposed 30th October 2021 National Convention.
It has been quite a turbulent few weeks in the People's Democratic Party, with who occupies the Hellsman seat, a major bone of contention. This National Executive Committee meeting of the People's Democratic Party was called to take decision on the party's forthcoming National Convention. Acting National Chairman of the PDP, Elder Yemi Akinwumi, presided over the meeting, which many believe is not unconnected with State Justice Edem Ita Kofre of Calabar High Court granting an order of interim injunction restraining Prince Uche Secondus from functioning as the national chairman of the party and also barring him from participating in the NEC meeting. Leadership of the party noted the activities of their stakeholders to foster cohesion in the party.
I am pleased to announce to you all that those interventions are using the desired result. Challenges, disputations, disagreements are a part of life and indeed politics. But what is important is how they are resolved. And I want to assure you that the National Assembly were fully intact. We are fully there, and we are with our party. I can assure Nigerians they should look forward to the next PDP administration.
PDP spokesperson Kola Olobodi, on conveying the resolution of the meeting, says PDP's NEC will reconvene on the 9th of September 2021 to give approval to nomination of members that will serve on the National Convention committees. In Abuja, Timothy Yusuf, NTA News.
Legendary singer, guitarist and sculptor Sir Victor Uwaifo has been reported dead. NTA reporter Adeboji Ojewa, who just visited his residence at Ekanwan Road, Benin City, quotes a family source who confirms that a guitar boy, as he is popularly known, died this Saturday after a brief illness. The High Life King passed away earlier today at the Stella Obasanjo Hospital in Benin City, Edo State capital. He was rushed to the hospital after he had some complications at home. He was aged 80 years. May his soul rest in peace. Now, the federal government high-level delegation led by Vice President Yemi Osinbajo on Friday visited Governor Dapo Abiodun of Ogun State to commiserate with him over the death of his father, Dr. Emmanuel Abiodun, who died on the 2nd of August this year at the age of 89. State House correspondent Jide Onifade reports.
Here, the Vice President delivers President Muhammadu Buhari's message to the family.
We are rejoicing and celebrating the life of an incredibly great man who not only was known for his own contribution to society as a teacher, Baba teacher, but also the fact that all through his life he supported all the worthy causes and was himself a progressive. So you cannot speak of progressive politics, progressive ideas without mentioning his name. He has left behind a worthy legacy.
We're here not to mourn, because he has lived a good life and he has left us at a ripe old age.
No matter how old Baba, no matter how old he was, nobody will want him to go. So for that other aspect, we'll commiserate you too.
God for Baba's life. Baba has done his bit. We are not expecting this. But like they say, man proposes, God disposes.
From Ikperu Remo in Ogun State, Jide Onifade.
In a related development, the First Lady of Nigeria, Aisha Muhammadu Buhari, has condoled with the former Minister of Women Affairs, Zainab Maina, over the death of her husband, Alhaji Umaru Maina. State House correspondent Aliyu Kabir reports that the First Lady described the death of late Alhaji Maina as a loss not only to the family, but the whole nation, considering his contribution to national growth and development. While praying for Allah to continue to grant him peaceful rest, the First Lady also prayed to Allah to give the family the fortitude to bear the loss. Hajia Zainab Maina expressed appreciation for the visit. You're watching Weekend File on the network service of the NTA. It's time for our first commercial break. To stay with us.
The hero of Nigeria's democracy has arrived. He shall usher us into a new phase of development, peace, and prosperity. He is the father of the new Nigeria, His Excellency President Muhammadu Buhari, GCFR. Welcome to another season of giving Nigerians hope yet again. We are sure of a great future for both ourselves and generations yet unborn. We look forward to your leading us as a nation into our manifest destiny. Though the challenges against us as a people are many, we know that your leadership shall set us on the right path to our greatness. A new dawn beckons on us all, and having you as our president is a precursor to this. Thank you for believing in Nigeria. This message is from the Nigerian Television Authority, NTA.
At the first sign of pain, you need a solution that you can trust. Try Panadol Caplets. With Panadol's Optizorb formula, the tablet absorbs quickly and starts providing fast and effective pain relief you can trust. Try Panadol Caplets.
Nigerian youths are about the greatest assets the country has at the moment. It is therefore not surprising that the administration of President Muhammadu Buhari is strategically responding to the yearnings of the youth through multiple projects and programs. Youth entrepreneurship support, yes, by Bank of Industry, the Youth Investment Fund by the CBN, and several other conditional cash transfer programs. Recruitment of 774,000 social workers, majority of whom are youths, and so many other projects that are beneficial to youths directly or indirectly. If the administration can do all this, definitely with a degree of patience and time, it can achieve more. Nigerian youths must come together to say no to terrorism, no to vandalism, and no to all disruptive tendencies. Hashtag Youth for Greater Nigeria. Pacifying the youths, unifying the nation.
We are StarTimes, the most affordable digital pay TV platform with the widest signal coverage in Nigeria, dedicated to bringing the best TV entertainment around the world to your screen. From Hollywood to Bollywood to Nollywood, we offer the most affordable subscription. Enjoy over 75 channels for as low as 1,700 naira, like Nat Geo Wild, BBC, ESPN, and premium sports like Emirates FA Cup, La Liga, Bundesliga, wrestling. What's more exciting? We have the most flexible payment options in Nigeria. Don't dull. Join us now for an exciting journey. StarTimes. Enjoy digital life.
Welcome back to Weekend File on the NTA. President Muhammadu Buhari condoles with family, friends and associates of legendary musician and multi-talented artist Sir Victor Uwaifo, who died this Saturday. The president joins the Nigerian music industry and performing artists in mourning the first musician and instrumentalist to be given National Honours Award, member of the Order of the Niger, MON, in 1983. President Buhari believes the renowned musician with global appeal and recognitions lived for many firsts, which include the invitation to the State House by 4 presidents and heads of state, and winner of a gold disc in Africa for his song Joromi, released in 1965 at the age of 24. The president notes the glory that Sir Uwaifo brought to Nigeria through his international tours, and prays that the soul of the departed rest in peace. There is need for government at all levels to do more in the area of enlightenment on the need for Nigerians to fully adhere to all safety protocols on COVID-19 in the country. Adebola Bruskel Sunday reports that most Nigerians are not complying with the guidelines laid down by the Presidential Steering Committee on the virus.
About 2 years after the emergence of coronavirus, government and most people have accepted life as the new normal. For life to go on, government relaxed restrictions but advised that people must still adhere to the protective measures to prevent the spread of the virus. These measures include practicing social distancing, frequent hand washing under running water, the use of face mask and alcohol-based hand sanitizer. Today, Most Nigerians, either on the streets, markets, and other public places, have become careless about the guidelines. Some are even defending their actions.
As I'm walking on the road now, I don't put on masks because I find it difficult to breathe. But once I get to where I'm going, like now I'm going to the bank, I can put it on.
This face mask vendor said he has to display his well-carved beard even while selling the mask. A visit to some federal government establishments showed that most workers are no longer wearing face masks, and the automatic hand washing equipment are now the shadow of themselves. However, the case was different in some other ministries and agencies, as no worker can gain entry without fully complying with the safety guidelines.
Every staff in Nigeria Atomic Energy Commission must observe the protocol before he entered the office.
We have provided hand sanitizers. We have educated our security men to block people that will pass even through a place without. So anybody that is not abiding, we'll ask him to return home.
Some concerned Nigerians are of the view that it will be better for government to return to those days when offenders who do not comply are prosecuted at mobile courts in the FCT to make the people adhere to the safety rules and prevent the spread of the virus. Adebola, Brooksland Sunday, NTA News.
Let's now take you to the train station, a busy site that attracted the attention of our correspondent, Oyenaya Kalwaka, and she dropped by to check the level of compliance with the COVID-19 protocols by the passengers.
Information like these are displayed at the train stations, reminding passengers on the need to wear their face
effects of the virus, the Nigerian government came up with safety guidelines such as wearing of face masks, washing of hands under running water, and use of hand sanitizers. Others are reduction in the number of passengers per seat row that transporters are expected to carry in a vehicle, distance of 4 meters in any gathering, amongst other safety protocols. Investigations in places such as churches, social gatherings, community markets, and other public places reveal that people are relaxed with all these measures despite the daily reports by NCDC on the rising cases of the virus.
Me, I not get anything coronavirus.
COVID-19, every person coming to market comes with his nose mask. If not these old women, some of them don't know the value of what the governor is saying.
Some respondents are of the view that government and community leaders should employ other measures to enforce strict compliance to these safety measures, as well as ensure that the COVID-19 vaccines get to all and sundry.
No one is wearing masks in public again. People are not observing social distancing. There is a risk of a sudden explosion of COVID-19 infections.
Communal sensitization is very important, and that's why we have the primary care system in Nigeria.
Experts say efforts should be tilted to rural communities in form of sensitization, as many people seem to be ignorant of the risk associated with contacting the virus. In Port Harcourt, Ijomu Gweke, NTA News.
Non-compliance with COVID-19 safety guidelines in public places, health experts in Enugu say, could lead to a surge in mortality rate resulting from the coronavirus complications. Kelechi Ochiaga monitored the situation at motor parks, schools and eateries to ascertain the level of compliance.
Investigation reveals that across Africa, COVID-19 cases are surging by 20% on a weekly basis, and this is gradually approaching numbers documented during the peak of the first wave in July 2020. As Nigeria battled with the second wave of the pandemic, the third wave resurfaces on May 3, 2021, according to a report, with cases spreading more rapidly across states of the Federation. While monitoring the level of compliance to COVID-19 safety measures in public places in the metropolis, the crew discovered a near-to-zero situation in the meted out protocols to fight the virus.
Me using face mask is like I'm not breathing well. You understand?
The teachers maintain those protocols spaced out in the staff room, have their face masks on.
According to speculations from the medical experts in Enugu, there are strong indications that the virus, if not checked, will spread in Enugu, as 98% of the population do not keep to the safety protocols fashioned out by the Nigeria Center for Disease Control, NCDC.
We are telling every person to go back and make sure you wear your face mask, keep social distance.
What the Ministry of Health in Enugu State and in Nigeria and in the world is doing is to continually communicate to people, educate people, and give them information about what is best.
It is the view of the experts that the number of COVID-19 cases and the resulting death toll will only reduce if the masses will properly abide by the preventive measures in Enugu. Kelechi Ochiaga, NTA News.
Of course, we still have Dr. Mukhtar Mohammed, Head, National Incident Manager and Technical Head, Presidential Steering Committee on COVID-19. I'd like to ask you this very simple question, because as Africans, how do you think, or rather to what extent do you think culture and tradition has hampered the compliance with the protocols of COVID-19 on the part of our people?
Well, I'm not sure I'm the expert to answer this question, but just from our experiences, we know that compliance to public health regulation in this country is something that requires some level of enforcement. Unlike other climes where people are aware of the responsibility, to take care of their own health and also to protect others. In this part of the world, sometimes you may need to use, a little hard stick to make people fall in line. You remember when we were growing up, when we have medical officers of health, that is the environmental health officers, going around checking sanitation in houses on the streets, ensuring that the gutters, are free-flowing. It requires some level of fine or even prosecution for people to fully comply with those things. So that has not completely abated. Even now, we can see with the COVID regulation, unless the government starts making the enforcement of these regulations, people hardly comply. You recall that in FCT and also in Lagos, when the exercise started closing public places or charging people who were not complying, then more people became aware of these responsibilities and started to do it. So I don't know whether it is culture or tradition, but what I will say is that from experience, Nigerians like to be pushed a little harder before they comply to this regulation.
Now, that's talking about enforcement, pushing people a little bit harder to accept certain norms, because the protocols of COVID-19 appear to be the new normal now. So what do you do? What do we do in terms of enforcement? Because that seems to be the only way out now.
So certainly, with the number of cases that we are seeing now, and with the impending loom with what we have started seeing, particularly in Lagos State. Lagos is the epicenter of the epidemic in Nigeria. Over 60% of all cases have been in Lagos State. And now we have seen that the cases are rising. Lagos is recording 3,000 to 4,000 cases in a week. Now, against the few hundreds that they were recording. We've seen that the hospital occupancy, that is people who are being admitted in hospitals, also rising very well. Lagos currently is not admitting people with mild illnesses. They are only admitting people with severe illnesses. And what I get from today's report, almost 70% of the hospital beds in Lagos are now occupied with COVID patient. Mortality has also risen. We have seen the number increase from the 1.4 or 1.5% earlier on to 4%, and now what we are seeing is almost 10% mortality among the cases that have been hospitalized in Lagos State. Abuja is also picking up. We've seen more people coming into hospitals. So with all of this, there are two things that we must do. Number one, Nigerians must live up to our responsibility to protect ourselves and to protect our family, to comply. Make sure that we use face masks in public places, make sure we avoid overcrowding, and make sure that, we get immunized, we get vaccinated. You take your vaccination and mobilize your neighbor to also take that vaccination, because that is the only sure way that, you will not get hospitalized, or you will not fall sick, or you will not even die from COVID-19. Part of the measures we are taking now to ensure this compliance include setting up tribunals in all the states. We are focusing now on the high priority states, which are about 8 states. And we are working with the state governments to set up these tribunals. These tribunals will allow speedy judgment such that when public places are not complying, they can be closed down. Individuals that violate this protocol can be fined. And this is a very delicate process that requires, using the enforcement officers and also using the judiciary so that people can be prosecuted. We do not intend to make this punitive, but rather to serve as deterrent, so that everyone will now live up to their responsibilities. Nigerian health system is very weak. We cannot handle high number of cases going on to admission, because that will not only affect the hospitals, it will also affect our economy, and it will also affect our social well-being.
So the best way for the people to really adhere to these protocols? Absolutely. It is worrisome now because in the first or second week of September, kids will resume school, and in the face of all this, what do we do?
So actually, we are aware of that, and we knew when this third wave was going to happen. We predicted that when our students who are studying abroad start coming back into the country, they are likely to bring these infections. Themselves, they are fine; they are not sick. But when they interact with the public, the rest of the public, will start catching it. Those who are vulnerable can now be hospitalized. Now, kids going to school is also another danger because they'll go and mix up with other kids and with other teachers. If safety measures are not taken, these kids are going to come back home and spread it to the elderly and to people who have other debilitating illness, and therefore we will now see the impact of COVID-19. So we have heightened of these measures, working with Ministry of Education, sensitizing all states to ensure, public and private, ensure strict compliance to this COVID protocol so that we can protect our children and also protect their parents back at home.
I want to thank you for coming on Weekend File tonight, Dr. Mukhtar Mohammed.
Thank you very much.
Good
It's my
luck to
pleasure.
you.
Thank you.
All right. We'll be talking with the head, National Incident Manager and Technical Head, Presidential Steering Committee on COVID-19, Dr. Mukhtar Mohammed, on the issue of non-compliance with COVID-19 protocols in our country. Let's quickly go on another break on Weekend File. When we return, sports and more.
This present government has done a lot on the train modernization. They came in and completed the Abuja, Kaduna, and we have 9 stations there, 5 stopping stations and 4 crossing stations, making 9. And when we started in 2016, we started with 2 trips, then we later moved on to 8 trips. And we are talking about moving to 14 trips a day. And we have been able to send 10 DMUs, 10 coaches, and 2 locomotives new. We have 12 stations on the Takbere line. It's about 312 kilometer length of track, and it's over 35 years old. And the government came and took it up, finished the track, build modern stationing, and the stations are finished. Working on the signaling. We all hope to start the commercial operation by the end of September.
To sports now, let's join Femi Johnson for an update on the Tokyo 2020 Paralympic Games.
Nigeria's Olaito Mujidat Ibrahim in the 67-kilogram class did excellently well to lift 115 and 119 kilograms in the first and second attempts. She was also a delight to watch in her third attempt.
This is not my target. But at the end of the day, I give glory to Almighty Allah.
Also, participating in her 6th Paralympic Games, where she had won 3 gold and 2 silver medals before, Lucy Ejike lost the gold and silver medals to Perez Amelia of Mexico and Akpenruza of Uzbekistan in the 61-kilogram class. She lifted 130 kilograms to place 3rd. However, Innocent Nnamdi failed to lift any of his 3 attempts in the men's 72-kilogram class. He placed 8th. In athletics, it was not a good day for Nigeria as Iyazi Okeria placed 8th out of 12 in the women's discus at a throw of 27.49. Similarly, Galadima Shuabudu was 8th in the T47 class. Nigeria has lost out completely in the men and women's singles of the table tennis. In rowing, Ijoma Kingsley made it to final B and will soon have a world ranking placement.
Thank you to everybody who's supporting. We're working very hard and we're looking forward to winning.
There is no doubt about it. It has been mixed blessings for Nigeria in the ongoing Paralympic Games in Japan. The medal table indicates that China leads, closely followed by Great Britain and also Republic People's Committee and United States. For Africa, we have Nigeria, Algeria, Tunisia, Egypt, and Uganda still on the medals table. From Tokyo, Femi Johnson, NTA News.
President Muhammadu Buhari extends heartfelt condolences to the Griller family, friends, associates and art lovers on the passing of Professor Yusuf Adebayo Cameron Griller, the pioneer head of the Department of Art and Printing, Yaba College of Technology. From his stained glass paintings to showcasing the rich Yoruba culture and heritage in his works, the president believes that the legendary artist and founding president of the Society of Nigeria Artists was a master in promoting creativity and raising awareness on the beauty in indigenous traditions. The president affirms that one of the greatest legacies of Griller was his devotion to educating and mentoring a younger generation who expectedly, through the power of the visual arts, will continue to promote dialogue, understanding and appreciation of the uniqueness of the Nigerian society. And that's Weekend File on the NTA. Many thanks to you for watching. My name is Kenan Ima Abodike. Do enjoy the rest of your weekend. Good night.